Dakota today. We're at the North Dakota Safety Council, and joining me is John Wuta, the Senior Safety Coordinator, consultant, excuse me.
Yeah.
And we're kind of doing something that's very important for this time of year. There's a lot of ice outside. So,
a lot of ice.
John, thank you for coming on here. And what we're doing is a slip simulator, and you're going to make me fall, but safely, and kind of teach me along the way.
Yeah.
So what are we doing
So
here?
the first thing we're going to do is we're going to teach you how to walk on ice properly, right? What techniques can we use, right? So you don't slip and fall on the ice, right? Remembering that the first choice is always hazard recognition, hazard avoidance. If there's a safer way to get somewhere, let's do that, right? A lot of people don't realize that the cost associated with just a simple wrist fracture, arm fracture, shoulder fracture, ankle fracture, right, can easily exceed about $50,000.
Oh, easily, right? Yeah.
So my son just went through that, and it was about $56,000 for all of his care. So
And
anything that
recovery
we can do, right, and because we live where we live, if we can avoid slipping on the ice and sustaining an injury, then it's a good investment. So.
Especially because it was so warm, you know, before we saw this Arctic plunge come through, then everything refroze overnight, typical freeze and thaw. So sometimes too, you could see the ice, but other times it's black ice, and so you're
It's underneath snow.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a little hard to see, but what is the technique on how to walk on ice before we kind of maybe demonstrate it?
So we want to imagine our body as a pillar, right? And when we're walking on the ice, eyes straight forward, head over our shoulders, shoulders over our hips, and our hips over our feet. Trying to keep our body within about an 18-inch box that surrounds our body, right? Making sure our center of gravity is in there and avoiding movements like this where we're leaning forward, leaning back, keeping everything planted here so we're over our feet, okay? Our goal is to keep our feet in contact with the ground, so we want to plod, right? And we want to use a marching technique, so taking baby steps. Marching in place, and then we want to go forward, taking just half steps, little steps, making sure we raise our knees up.
Maybe from like halfway from your foot to your toes?
Yep,
Is that
exactly.
Like a baby? Okay.
Yep, and doing a good cadence, and marching along just like that with your eyes straight ahead, shoulders relaxed, arms at your side.
That is the thing I want to ask you, because a lot of times I do look down, look where I'm, but you just said look ahead. Is that
so when you think about, right, when you're looking down like this, a lot of times our shoulders come forward, right, which shifts our center of gravity as well.
have a point,
Because walking is a controlled fall when you think about it, right? If we take that step, we're catching ourselves with that foot, or we're catching ourselves with this foot. And when we get into this position, Heidi, we're much more unstable laterally, and that's why you see people lose their footing this way, or they step on their heel this way, and then their foot goes out from underneath them.
And I would be able to push you over just fine.
Absolutely. Right, when we're in a position like this, we're nice and stable, and gravity's pushing us straight to the ground.
Okay. So before we show off the slip simulator, people can come and stop by and do a class or two.
So we don't offer scheduled classes in this yet. It's a new piece of equipment, but we do offer group classes. It's a great kind of a team building exercise to watch your coworkers slip and fall on the ice. So they can contact us here at the Safety Council just by calling our main number, or they can go to our website, ndsc.org, and find information on it there as well.
Very educational, and it's for everybody too. So what this is going to do, walk me through it.
So what we're going to do, we've got you fitted with special shoes here, right, that are going to simulate the loss of friction with the walking surface, right? We've got you in a harness, obviously, because in the case that you slip, and you very well could slip today, we don't want you to land on the ground, so that harness is going to catch you.
Okay, but the purpose is to make me slip, and well, never mind. Let me ask before we go into that, if you do fall, how are you supposed to fall? Is there a real good way?
So the natural tendency, right, is for people to reach out and catch themselves, whether they're on rollerblades, whether they're on a skateboard, a hoverboard, or they slip on the ice, right? And one of the common fractures is called a Colles fracture, where you snap your wrist and you get that hump right there. Super common. So we want to make sure that we don't reach out, and if we can keep our arms in like this and take that blow right to the trunk of our body, and at the same time try to prevent our head from hitting the ice, because that's really common, right? Falling backwards is a bad thing because there's just that natural tendency to hit your head.
All right, well, all right, now that we know how to do that, let's make me fall but not fall.
All right, let's do it.
Thanks, John. Okay, so what are we doing
I'll have you step up here.
Harnessed? Okay.
And we will get you hooked
So
up here.
the sheet here, the clear stuff, or the walk, the sidewalk, that's the sidewalk or the icy surface.
Yep, so this is going to be just a regular flat sidewalk on this side, and what we've got this side, we've simulated a curb for you to step up onto a curb. Then we're going to have you step down off of a curb and onto some uneven or broken concrete.
Okay.
Okay. So
Let's do it.
So what I want you to do starting off, Heidi, let's just take a normal walk, like you would normally walk right down the right side, walking heel to toe.
Okay. Yep.
Okay.
Definitely slipped. And it's so hard to recover from it.
Exactly. Okay.
I didn't even make it halfway, I think. Now I'm just, okay. Okay.
So now what I want you to do, right, use that technique that I talked about. Shoulders back, head over your shoulders, eyes looking straight ahead, relax your arms, and just
Baby
march. Make
steps
sure you
and
pick your
march.
feet up and plant them firmly on the ground.
Yeah.
Yep, and a little bit faster. Step, step, yep.
Yep, because I'm planting, so I have my body.
Yep, now keep your arms at your side or you'll lose your balance.
Good point.
Okay?
Talking about the hands.
And that's the other thing, when people slip, right, that first tendency is to go like this, right? And that contributes to the fall as well.
Okay,
So,
okay.
okay, comfortable with that?
Yeah,
All
but
right.
still a lot slower than you normally would on a non-icy surface, of course.
Yeah, and those are the tendencies, the behavioral things that we like to change to is to slow down, right? So let's simulate this, Heidi.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give you a tool bag.
okay.
Okay, and I want you to carry this tool bag and just hold it just like that, right? So let's say you work in construction, you're an electrician, right?
Yep.
This is a common thing that we see with these people, whether they're in HVAC, some type of a mechanical industry, right? So typically we carry things at our side or we put it over our shoulder, right?
Correct.
Keeping that within your 18-inch box as well. So carrying it closer to your body is gonna make you more
want it.
stable. So yeah, just like that, yeah. Pull it into your body and use that same technique,
Interesting.
okay?
Would this help you out too? Would it weigh you more, add more stability down the center, or is this kind of more of a dangerous point still?
It's still it's a dangerous point, right? But you notice that your shoulders are back a little bit further and you're compensating for that weight
Yeah.
that you're carrying, okay?
I'm still have to take my time though, that's for sure.
Absolutely,
'cause
right?
so-
And like I
yeah.
said earlier, your first choice is to avoid getting into this situation in the first place.
Yeah, and so how do we avoid these situations to go through? I mean,
So anticipation, right? We have to learn to anticipate changing work surfaces, right? Icy parking lots, we know, hey, I can see some snow over there, but what's underneath it? And anticipating
Yeah, you
that, just
never know.
using your common sense.
absolutely. Okay.
So
yeah.
let us simulate some other stuff.
Let's
okay?
do it, yeah.
So we're going to simulate walking across some broken concrete up onto a step. Okay. Using that same technique, I'll have you march down the right side.
Definitely a little bit of a change.
Yep, you can tell and just
So-
anticipate the change in the surface. Now this is one step up. I want you to take one step up looking straight ahead.
Oh, I keep forgetting to look straight
Yep,
up
looking
too.
straight
yeah.
ahead is huge because
Yeah.
then your center of gravity stays with you.
Baby
Okay.
steps again.
Same thing. And now this is a step down.
Oh, okay. Actually, now that I'm looking up, I do notice a big difference, even more than the baby steps
Yeah,
too. So
that's
all
a
of these things.
very common thing is people looking down like this and their shoulders come forward and then
Yeah.
we lose her.
It's a learning process, but that's what you guys are here to do, teach us how to correctly walk on ice.
And it's
slippery
very
surfaces.
obvious when
Yeah.
somebody's muscle memory comes into play.
Oh, absolutely too. And then it's almost like we have to go through this all over again when summer comes and winter happens.
It's
but
a
muscle
great
memory,
annual training, especially if you have staff that aren't from the northern climates.
Yeah. Everybody learns. Well, John, this was very educational. Now I feel like I can easily walk outside and hopefully walk on the ice, but maybe just dodge it in general, too.
Absolutely.
John, for more information, where can people find North Dakota Safety Council?
So you can go to our website at ndsc.org, or you can reach out to our great staff here at the Safety Council, and they'll be happy to get you hooked up with any of our program coordinators.
Oh, we love